The upcoming fragrance releases are getting all my money, and Glamlite is releasing a collab that I just need to get my hands on, and MCoBeauty is doing a copy that I actually kind of respect. Let's talk about it. Welcome to a new makeup releases. So we are going to chat about the new makeup that's been released, announced, and sneak peeked. I'm going to let you know how I feel about these things, and then you let me know how you feel about these things down in the comments. I tried to do these bi-weekly right now, and you seem pretty okay with that, and I am more than okay with that, so I'm going to continue to do that. With that being said, I am actually on vacation in 2 weeks. I am heading to Rome for a little trip, so it actually will be 3 weeks until the next one. But thank you so much for everyone who is tagging me on Instagram, letting me know about all of the things that you want me to talk about. I did film this look. It actually was a really fun look to film because I was asked for my member exclusive tutorial that's going to be live this weekend to combine a couple of my favorite, like yearly favorite palettes. So that's what this is, me wearing some yearly favorite palettes on my eyes. I do have a membership here on my channel where you get access to 60 plus member exclusive videos. They're all tutorials, in-depth tutorials, trying to tackle different color combos or different techniques. And every month I come back and I do a look requested by my members. You also get access to member exclusive emojis to use in the comments, and I do have a tier 2 and a tier 3 membership where I do a monthly Zoom chat where we chat about life, chat about makeup, chat about what's going on, and that chat is also happening this weekend. It's going to be on Sunday, and if you are a member tier 2 or tier 3, the information about that is going to be in the community tab visible for you. So if you're interested in checking out the membership, either for the tutorials, the Zoom chat, or maybe just an extra way to support the channel, definitely check that out either in the link down below or in the button next to the subscribe button. But let's get into the makeup news because I do have some things to talk about. Let me scoochie to the side. Should we start talking about the MCoBeauty? Because I feel like that is one of the most interesting things that have happened this past time. So MCoBeauty is a brand that I will say is very low on my list of brands I respect. I would say they're not even on the list. I've always said that I think that making a dupe, there's nothing wrong with making a dupe. I think I've been very clear about that. For me, I think there's a difference between making a dupe and making a just blatant copycat. I also think that some of these brands are making copycat makeup. Now it's MCoBeauty. It used to be Makeup Revolution. I think they're doing way better job nowadays, having their own formulas, but also being a little bit more subtle than they're doing dupes and not just doing straight up copycats. I think with copycat makeup, especially with MCoBeauty, because I've heard this, it's more about duping the look of the product than it is to actually dupe how the product actually works. You know, the formulation of the product. MCoBeauty seemed to be more focused about copying the packaging, the color, the look of the product than actually duping the product itself. I've heard that their dupes for different products, both makeup wise and fragrance wise, are just nothing like the original product, but they look like they could be. I definitely respect when affordable brands come out with affordable versions of expensive formulations. I think that's awesome. Makeup should not be about, good makeup should not be about who can access expensive makeup. It should be offered to anyone. And if you want to pay a premium price for premium packaging or name brand or access to more different colors, I've said that before, usually it's more expensive to have a wider color range. That's why Physicians Formula has 2 bronzers and why other more expensive brands might have 8 bronzers. That is one of the reasons. Then of course, bigger brands can access more colors because they make more. Just look at NYX. They're always releasing 20 different lip colors, and it's because NYX is so literally worldwide. This was me making a short story very long, just saying that I always respect affordable. I love drugstore makeup and I love affordable makeup and finding affordable versions of expensive makeup. There's very few luxury makeup items that I think you cannot find an equally good or even better version at an affordable brand. Most of the time, not always. With that being said, I've had better luck blind buying something from a mid-high range brand than blind buying something from a drugstore brand. That's just my personal opinion. It doesn't have to match up with yours. But when it comes to straight up copycats, that's not what I want to review. I remember when MCoBeauty came to the US, I am pretty sure that they either offered me, I know they contacted me and I don't remember if it was a sponsored video or if it just they wanted me to be part of their launch campaign with PR. I'm not 100% sure. I did decline because again, I just don't respect a brand that's just like, just do your own thing. Like, just do great makeup. It doesn't have to be a copycat or something like that. Just do great makeup. There are so many brands out there. They're just doing great, affordable makeup. But they're clearly just trying to, you know, apply to a customer who's looking for a Charlotte Tilbury, a Sol de Janeiro, a whatever other brands they're copying product at a cheaper price, hoping they'll get the same thing, but they just get a similar packaging and a similar name, not a similar product, unfortunately. But MCoBeauty made waves in the beauty community these past weeks because they announced that together with Scandinavia, they were going to re-release the old formulation of All Nighter makeup spray by Urban Decay as an all, I think it's called like All Dayer, which again, awful name, like awful name. You can just say that this is the old all-nighter formula. You don't have to copy the bottle and the name. Like that wasn't needed. You didn't need to copy like this. That wasn't needed. You didn't need that. But if you didn't know, a while ago, Scandinavia announced that they had been dropped by Urban Decay because they used to do the Urban Decay all-nighter formula, and then Urban Decay decided, probably their like parent company, which is, I'm pretty sure L'Oreal, probably told them, listen, we need to save some money on this. You have to have your own formulation and not pay this amount of fee to Scandinavia. All brands are always trying to make things cheaper. I have not tried the new all-nighter spray. I've heard the formulation is not as good as the old one. Do with that information as you will. So this turned into quite a big ordeal, and a lot of people were very upset with Urban Decay for dropping Scandinavia. I think for me, I don't think there's anything wrong with a brand saying, listen, we can't go forward with this anymore. We have to save money and we're going to do our own formulation. I personally don't think there's anything wrong with that. What I do think maybe they made a mistake in is just dropping them at the drop of a hat, just saying we're no longer working with you, because they probably made a lot of like budgets and, you know, calculations for the future, depending on the amount that, you know, that Urban Decay was going to order from them. So now instead they gave, I'm using that word very, it's doing some heavy lifting in this sentence, the formulation to MCoBeauty. So instead of releasing a dupe of the Urban Decay All-Nighter Spray, it is the actual old formulation of the Urban Decay All-Nighter Spray. Something that is very interesting about this release is it was available on the website and then all of a sudden it wasn't, leading a lot of people to speculate that maybe Urban Decay was like, listen, this is just too similar, which again, it is just too similar. Just do your own bottle. This was your chance to branch out and be your own brand, not be a copycat brand. But they probably made too much money doing that, and they've been sued so many times. I think they've settled some of the lawsuits. I have no idea, but it's just like, why be this when you can be something else? Why be a copycat when you can be creative? But I think it's very interesting. So I've seen the story, but I think this article here, the picture that I'm having here, is basically saying, is this the new era of makeup dupes? Basically taking on old loved formulations from brands and just giving them a new life in another brand. Something also to note, I said there were two things to note. One of them is that it disappeared from the site. Again, nobody knows what's going on there, if it's releasing or not, if Urban Decay got upset, maybe it was leaked early, who knows. The second thing to note is that this spray is much more expensive than the other MCoBeauty sprays. Saying the quiet part out loud, some formulations are actually more expensive to do. Everybody talks about there's so much margins on makeup production and like people are just putting on 500%. I don't know what other brands are doing. I'm not doing that, and I know most indie brands are not doing that. And I think this clearly shows that there are cheaper formulations and there are more expensive formulations, and when they tried to release this setting spray, all of a sudden it was like twice the cost of their other setting sprays, and it's like, I wonder why that is. And it's probably because this was more expensive to make. If they could release this at a lower cost and sell more of them, they probably would. And I'm not saying this to be like, oh, all high-end makeup is worth it. Definitely not. Some of it, I can tell you right now, it probably has a lot of margin on it. But when it comes to formulations, some ingredients are more expensive than others for sure. And even though the ingredients say the exact same things, sometimes there is a difference in how much you put in of something, or if it's more expensive of ingredient A or less expensive of ingredient A. There is definitely a difference. And I think that this shows A, there is a new way to dupe things. B, some formulations are actually more expensive than others. And C, even a brand like MCoBeauty that, I'm gonna be honest, not a lot of people in the industry respects, can make cool things. They took a formula that people loved, that people missed, and they re-released it again. You could always buy this spray from Scandinavia. You could always go in and buy it from Scandinavia, but they're not as widely available as Urban Decay or MCoBeauty. So I think that this gives also Scandinavia another form of revenue to be able to make more of these and not, lose a lot of money, because they probably had a factory that was doing all-nighters and now they can do all-dayers instead. Again, I wish it wasn't called that. I wish it wasn't called that. Oh my God, my neighbor's dogs are screaming again. Babes. But I also think this move from Scandinavia and MCoBeauty opens up doors for other similar, maybe collaborations for other factories or labs that own some formulations that, because I do think most of the time, the brands own their formulations. It's their formulation. They didn't just, go to a factory, point at something and said, I want this in red. Usually they own their formulations. But I do think that there's probably quite a lot of cases where bigger brands didn't own the formulation, the labs or the factories or other big brands did. And for different reasons, brands had to reformulate. Maybe they got bought up, maybe they had to change factories. There could be so many reasons. And I think there's a lot of formulations that got discontinued that people miss and love and would love to see return from another brand if they knew this is exact same formulation that got discontinued, but just from a new brand. And I'm wondering if this move by MCoBeauty and Scandinavia is opening up for, like this article said, is this like a new wave? Or is this the next stage of makeup duping? Again, I just wish that every brand would just use their own creativity, but I also realize that that's just wishful thinking, I guess. But I would love to hear your thoughts about this. And does this change your mind about MCoBeauty, or have you tried them before? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Again, no hard feelings if you do. It's not for me. And I think it's because I do work in a creative field, and I would be sad if someone would just blatantly copy something that I created to make money out of something I did. Again, if they were inspired by me, something else, but I do think that there is not even a fine line. There's a pretty thick line between being inspired by and just blatantly copying it. Let's start with talking about some indie releases. Of course, we have to talk about round 2 between Blemani Cosmetics and May Pang Microsoft. I am so excited about this, and I'm so excited that they're doing a round 2 of a matte palette, because I love matte shadows. It's like my bread and butter. I am a matte girly through and through. I love matte shadows. I do have this one heading my way, and I was able to buy at an affiliate price, but I did buy the blends, the new blends palette, and also the new Dollhouse palette. And of course, this release also has a smaller mix between shimmers and mattes, a neutral palette, like May's version of a neutral palette. So it's 2 palettes, all matte and 1 neutral palette with shimmers and mattes. And then I did again get the new blends palette and the new Dollhouse palette. I was thinking about doing a dedicated video going through all of them, and maybe at least showing comparison swatches between the old Dollhouse and the old blends with the new ones, letting you know if I think it's worth investing in a new one, or if you're good. Let me know what you think about this. I'm pretty sure this one has released. Yes, it is available now. You can use my discount code Angeshka. And like I said, if this one arrives to me before I leave for my vacation, I will put up a video. Otherwise, it will be here when I'm home. It's just, now that I'm living back in Europe again, of course, I'm getting much less PR, but also getting PR to me usually takes a little bit longer. So I hope you can have some patience with me. But I've been trying to do some more dedicated indie reviews, because I think they're just so much fun to film. But I also am in the process of filming another one of those, multiple palettes, multiple looks, because I love filming those too. So I will have another one of those before I leave for vacation. But again, if I have time for this one, I will, because I definitely want to dive into this one. And I actually like the color story of this one more. It's the Flora and the Fauna palette than the other one, because this one is more like saturated, which is more like my colors. We also have been getting an announcement from Nomad, and they said that they have an autumn winter calendar. So they are having 3 brand new launches coming, but they're also bringing back 2 of their absolute favorite palettes, and it is going to be the Hudson and the Wisteria are coming back in the new and updated formula. I love both the Wisteria and the Hudson palette, and I'm very excited for them to come back. I've had the absolute privilege of being able to see what the upcoming launches is from Nomad. I won't be giving you any spoilers other than I'm very excited. I'm excited for me to be able to play with them, and I'm excited for you to be able to have a look at them as well. But I will definitely be doing, if I'm able, I will be doing videos on all of these. One says it's coming already August 10th. And again, on August 10th, I am actually on vacation. If I get it before then, I will make a video. If not, I will try and do something when I get back. And yeah, they're about to, let's see, the calendar says August 10th, and then it says September, around October 1st is the comeback of these 2 palettes I'm showing here. And then they're gonna have an amazing winter holiday launch early November. And then also, they've shown a sneak peek of this, and they put this one up on their Instagram, showing 4 liquid, is it liquid lipsticks? Or it says lipsticks test. We need lipstick testers. I'm gonna read the message here if you're interested in signing up. This one says, we are gearing up to launch a brand new liquid lipstick formula with our next destination, and a sneak peek at the new shade. So I'm guessing this will be part of their next destination launch. Again, I've seen it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for all of us. By the way, you can use my code Agnieszka with Nomad as well on their website, on both the old launches and the new ones. And this is what they say. And while we're obsessed with it, we need your lips to prove it. We're looking for 15 people to try the formula and help us decide if we need to expand the shade range in the future, like bringing out more shades than these. Are you fit? We want people who wear lipstick almost every single day and frequently wear long-lasting formulas. We need you to put this to the test. Willing to wear one of 2 of the shades above. What they're basically saying is they're looking for people to test out the formula, and then after fill out a quick 5-minute feedback survey via email after testing the lipsticks for a few days. And basically you can go into Nomad Cosmetics Instagram on this post that looks like this, and just fill out and tell them that you're interested, and maybe you'll have a chance to be part of it. So I'm excited, and I love these shades. That like orangey yellow and that like bright red, you know that those are shades that I'm excited about. Another palette that I want to quickly mention because it is available now, it has dropped, is the Arttitude Cosmetics palette. This is the Equanimity palette. Again, I do have a dedicated video on this palette together with the 2 highlighters that were released in this collection. This palette is now available on their website. You can use code Agnieszka to get some money off. And if you're interested in this one, just know it was available. If you want to see some looks, I do have a video on it. Another indie release that is also dropping today as we're seeing this, and this you know, I love Cosmic Beauty. This is actually my photo of the palette. I love this photo. I think I did such a good job like capturing this. I've already had a video on this palette, and it is launching today on the 31st, and you can use code Agnieszka and get some money off at Cosmic Beauty. I hope they have a bunch of other palettes in stock as well, because they usually sell out of things, and they have like things out of stock. They're a popular brand, and they also do have a US warehouse now in case you were interested in that. So definitely check this palette out, and check out my video if you want to see more swatches, and if you want to see like my thoughts and some looks and all of that. I am so excited for them to launch this palette today, so definitely check this one out as well. I will leave all info about everything in the description box down below. I love a good warm yummy palette. This one's beautiful. Another palette that, is this one available yet? This is the Galapagos palette. It is a 6-pan all shimmer palette by Clionadh. This one, yes, this one has actually already launched. You can get this at the Clionadh website. You can use my discount code Agnieszka. I'm not 100% sure if I'll get this in PR or not. I did actually not get this last all shimmer palette that they had. I think that they are having some problems sending PR to Italy, which is totally fine. Italy can be a hard country to send to, and they're also Canadian. I don't know if there's a difference between Canada and the US, because I have been able to crack the code on how to get PR from indie brands to Italy, but it is definitely a little bit more difficult. But this palette is beautiful. And fun fact, when I saw this, I was hit with like a sting of almost like sad nostalgia, because you might not know this, because I don't like talking about grief on my channel. It's not I don't like giving that much of myself to the internet. But while I was on YouTube, in more my earlier days on YouTube, my dad actually did pass away from lung cancer. Don't smoke, kids, it will literally kill you. And his dream destination was going to the Galapagos. And every time I hear about that, or every time I see it, it always hits me with this sadness that he never got to do that dream. He never got to do that, like get to see that thing that he wanted to see, do that bucket list thing, because that was his bucket list thing. And it also like reminds me every time that like, yes, we need to be like, you know, saving our money and doing all of these like good things and thinking about the future, but we also need to have a little bit of fun now, because don't be irresponsible. Listen, don't be taking out your 401k and going to the Galapagos Islands. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I think that sometimes we forget to live a little bit in the now as well. And yeah, that was his like dream destination. I think the palette looks stunning, and I am excited again because I love the singles from Kaleidos. They're one of the actually few like single shadows in my collection that I do reach for. But I really like that they're doing these little curated 6-pan palettes, because I do think that this is more approachable for people that get like overwhelmed by their amount of singles. So I think that these are really stunning, and the shades look beautiful. Another indie release is the Shadows of Beauty by OPV Beauty. This one is it available now? Yes, this had already launched, and this is a UK indie brand. This is more of a traditional formula. This is not those like super special shades. I do have some thoughts about this palette, and I do talk about that. I did use this palette in my several looks. I think this palette has a beautiful color story, but it might not be my absolute favorite formula from the brand. I think that a lot of especially European brands are switching to a talc-free formula, and I think this formula again is a little bit more of a traditional formula, the one that we were used to seeing maybe some years back. And while I think that I was able to do a beautiful look with it, I definitely think that this formula might need a little work. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm not here for the brands. I'm here for you, for the consumers. With that being said, if you miss more old school formulas, this one might be for you. I do think my Conan Jeshka still works with OPV Beauty. I'm not 100% sure. So it's not me saying that this is bad. I'm just saying that this is more an old school formula. Okay, let's talk about the Glamlite collab. Okay, so far what we've seen from Glamlite, they're doing a collab with Pepsi. If you did not know, I have an unhealthy obsession with like fizzy Coke drink scents. Love them. I've been asked so many times if I can do a video on it. Maybe that's something I can do if I get my hands on this collection and we can like talk about it a little bit more. I still am trying to get my hands on the Born to Stand Out Cola Addict scent. I have heard that it is coming to Europe, so I'm just waiting to get my hands on it. I will definitely pick that up. But they're releasing so far we have seen a body scrub, and it's unfortunately Pepsi Vanilla. Again, that's a very American. I will say vanilla and cherry drinks are not very big here in Europe. People don't really like them. They're not popular. You find them in like the international aisle, you know, that's where we find the marshmallow fluff, the Reese's peanut butter, and the vanilla Coke, because it's not really something people love here. And I wish they would have just gone with the Pepsi scent and not Pepsi Vanilla, and then the shower gel has Pepsi cherry, like cherry Pepsi. I wish they wouldn't have done that, because the Pepsi scent on its own would have been enough. According to me, that depends though how strong the vanilla and how strong the cherry is. I might be wrong, but I do wish they would have just gone with the Pepsi, because a fizzy Coke scent is so sexy. It is like a fresh citrus meets spices and sugar. I just again obsessed. But also the owner Giselle did say on her stories that she was waiting to get the green light from Pepsi to show the makeup items. As you're seeing this, they might have already revealed what the makeup items are going to be, but I'm just letting you know that I did see on Giselle's stories that they're going to be makeup items as well. I don't know if I want to pick up the makeup items, but if they're scented, I will. But I definitely will be picking up the body things, and I really wish it would have been a body spray. Maybe there's still a chance for that, but I know that they haven't had that before. I know they've had body scrubs before. I'm hoping for a body butter. Like, I would love more, again, fizzy Coke scented things, because I am obsessed with it. It is one of my I bought this one. You told me to buy this one and I did. This is the, what is it actually? Wait, I have the box here. This is, I'm so silly. This is the Viktor and Rolf Bon Bon Cola Fist. This is a Coke perfume. And it is a little bit more of a florally Coke perfume, but it definitely smells like fizzy Coke. And it has a very, like, a longevity is very impressive on that one. But if you've smelled some other fizzy Coke scents and you thought they were a little bit too spicy or on the nose, this one is fizzy Coke and florals, but not in the way that the florals take over. It's still very much a fizzy Coke scent. So I definitely think that this could be a good alternative. Again, I do want to make a video about this at some point. Not that my fragrance videos do very well on my channel, but I love, as you can tell, I clearly love talking about it. But this, I do have a code with Glamlite. My code is Jessica. I haven't received any PR from Glamlite in over a year. I don't expect myself to get any PR from them either, but I definitely will be picking this one up. I kind of need to see if there's anyone who is carrying them here in the Europe. Now I'm turning into one of those people here in Europe, and see if I can get a hold. Maybe Boozy Shop or Monolith. I need to double check. I should ask Monolith and see. Will you have this one? I have more scents to talk about, but let's talk about some mainstream releases before we get into that. One of them is that Fenty has come out with a Midnight Diamonds collection, and I've seen these things swatched and they look very interesting. So there is a Caviar Crystals Shimmering Holographic Black Lip Luminizer, there is a Diamond Milk Shimmering Pearl Lip Luminizer, and then there is the Diamond All Over Diamond Veil in How Many Carats Per Platinum. I think this is a re-release. I don't know if this is new or if it's just the packaging that is new. And then there's the Shimmer Gloss Stick, also in the Shimmering Holographic Black. And then there's an eye trio that has an eyeliner, a shadow sticks, and a mini mascara, also in this kind of packaging. Honestly, I think this is really cool. And I do think that they're tapping into something that's becoming more popular, which is sheer black lip products. I honestly think that this release is very well timed. And if you are interested in like a more interesting color from like mainstream brands, I should definitely check this one out. I think it looks really fun. Definitely needed a little bit more lip gloss. It's very warm in here, okay? I feel like I'm melting. There's also a loose powder from Charlotte Tilbury. This one has the typical Charlotte Tilbury like esque packaging, and then there is 7 different shades. Again, this is one of the things when it comes to more expensive brands, like I said, that you usually get more shades to choose from. I think it's probably going to be really expensive. I'm guessing this is going to be like a $45-50 powder, like, right? That's what I'm thinking. So I was actually never the biggest lover of the pressed powder from Charlotte Tilbury. I know when I say that, people go like, I didn't think it was all that. It's a nice blurring powder, but for me, I think it darkened my concealer under my eyes, so I couldn't use it as an under eye powder. And I didn't think it kept me matte in my T-zone, so I couldn't use it as a powder around my nose. And then I don't use powders for anything else. I don't use powders to like blur my skin. So for me, that powder never felt like it didn't fill a purpose in my makeup routine. So I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this one. I definitely don't need a new loose powder. I actually still use the Glamlite loose powder. I think it's great. You can tell I've used quite a lot of it. I think it's a beautiful powder. Definitely recommend it if you are looking for powder. I'm trying to look at my memory card. Are you full? No, I think it's good. So that's not gonna be for me, but if you love the pressed powder, maybe you want to try the loose one too. I think I'm good. Something else that is releasing that I'm just like, who is this for? Our new single shadows by Makeup Forever. I don't know if these are all the shades. I think they're gonna be, no, there's some other shades. I'm just gonna see if I can make collage and show you, but I'm just like, who are these for? This color selection feels so 2014. And I just have a hard time understanding who these are for. There are some that they call glitter shades, which, I mean, could be interesting, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is exactly what people are looking for. I just feel like these shades feel dated. I love a bright blue, but who's out here buying a bright blue eyeshadow? That's not even a 2014 shade. That's like a 1992 shades. maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is what their customer wants. I'm just thinking a person who wants that blue won't be buying a single shadow at Makeup Forever. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm not. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of people have also been talking about this new RMS Beauty Redimension Daily Glow palette. I've told you before that I think that we are heading out of the clean girl era makeup, and I talked at the end of last year, I did a dedicated video about all the highlighter formulas that had been released in 2025 because it was quite a lot. And since then, even more highlighters are getting released, and I'm so excited. I do really love this formula from RMS Beauty, and I think it's really exciting for them to release a palette like this. It is going to be $55 and it is available now. I'll try and see if I can find it and put it down below, but let me know if you're interested in this. Another highlighter that is being released, and I'm very intrigued by this one, is actually from MAC Cosmetics. So this is the Glow Play Bouncy highlighter. I'm expecting this to be one of those like souffle kind of highlighters. It says that it's a light shifting glow with a lightweight touch me texture and an ultra smooth formula. And I'm very excited. It's putty highlighter with a sheer buildable shimmer that provides light shifting glow. I'm excited. There is a bunch of really interesting shades as well. And I am very intrigued by this. There is a MAC store here, and I kind of want to go in and see if I can get... There's a bunch of things from MAC that I'm really excited about that have released, and I'm like, do we need to do a is MAC back kind of a video? Because they've released quite a few things where I'm like, okay. One Size is actually releasing something that I don't know if I've ever seen a brand release before, and this is a color corrector stain. And honestly, this is something that I think is a good, because I use that word very loosely. I could use some color corrector under my eyes, but if I use enough to actually correct, it settles into my fine lines. I have to use too much powder, and I just have never been able to find a formula that doesn't disrupt whatever's going on top. And I think that a stain actually sounds like a great idea. I really want to try this and see how this works. These are going to be $28 each, which I also think is a pretty good price. So there's going to be like some light ones and some dark ones and the green one as well. And I am intrigued to see how this one works. One Size is available here in Sephora in Italy, and they're also available in other places in Europe, but they don't have the full range of products. They don't have the color cosmetics here, but I did see that they launched a powder here, so I'm kind of hoping that they'll launch this one too, because I think the complexion products are the products that are doing the best for the brand, like primers and setting sprays and stuff like that. So I really hope that this, because I will definitely be trying this one out, because I'm still waiting for a color correction product that works for me. Urban Decay is also releasing, speaking of the all-nighter, this is the worst PR ever for them, but this is the all-nighter ghosting collection. So they're releasing some more products within that range. So it is going to be the all-nighter ghosting spray, and this is a spray on powder. Again, this is such like almost like a flashback from a release that, what was it? It was Flower Beauty, right? That had the powder spray. Honestly, again, if they have cracked the code, I think it's going to be great. It's loose powder in a spray. It is up to 24-hour wear, flake and crease proof, weightless, non-cakey, no white cast, matte finish. I think it sounds great. Then there's all-nighter ghosting paste primer, all-day blur, all-day hydration, no white cast, no pilling, formulated without silicones, pore smoothing, sweat-proof, fade-proof, transfer-proof makeup. Again, that sounds amazing. A blurring and hydrating primer that also keeps your makeup on longer. It sounds great. And then there's an all-nighter ghosting powder, 5 different shades, light as a loose powder, weightless, non-cakey, non-drying, up to 24, blah, 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 all of that. Crease resistant, all-day shine control, all-day matte blur. So this is definitely a powder for more oily combo skin. I will be trying this one out. Again, I really hope this comes here pretty soon, because I definitely want to put this to the test. It is hot here right now, and it is very humid. I'm literally sweating, but this again seems innovative, and Urban Decay has shown that they can do amazing formulations, especially when it comes to complexion products. So I I'm actually very intrigued by this. Another brand that is releasing some more things is Prada. So one of the things that they're releasing is a new Wisteria collection, and it is a lip balm that is like, it's gonna react, you know, pH adjusting, starts lilac, ends up pink. I don't need that. And then there is the eye pencil, is in Glycine 06. Do they not have that since before? Hold. Because I have the Prada eye pencil, and this is in Glycine. So they're just like, this is part of the collection, but this pencil has been available from before. It is an amazing eye pen. I'm actually wearing the Prada eye pen in the mint on my waterline today. Amazing, amazing quality. And then there are the Prada Touch, the cream blushes, like the putty blushes in 2 lilac colors. I really want to swatch these and see how they look. I've been really into a cool tone cheek. I've been really into purple cheeks for a really long time, honestly. Now I've loved some from other brands, I've released some with my own brand, so I'm very excited to check this one out and see what it looks like. They're also releasing some lip, I think they're calling it like lip treatments. So it's same like plastic triangular packaging. If you didn't know, the Prada logo is a triangular, and this is 2 shades, a green that is intensely moisturizing, designed to minimize the appearance of vertical lip lines. Sure, like deep hydration. And then there is a blue, it's a clear blue with a menthol cooling sensation. I do love a menthol thing. I think a lot of people who love, you know, designer makeup will be very excited to pull this out of their purse. It's not for me. They're also releasing a new Dimensions eyeshadow palette. This is in mahogany. This is a quad. It looks like it's 3 shades, but there's actually a strip of a dark color at the top. These are really good quality. I think the Prada eyeshadows are probably the best quality luxury shadows that I've ever tried. I have one of these quads and I think it's beautiful. This one is available, well, probably here in Italy. Prada is an Italian brand after all, and it is coming soon to the US, and I personally think that this is a really good neutral quad if you're looking for something like that. And if it's the same quality as the other ones, if you like luxury makeup, this might be for you. Benefit has also sneak peeked their new concealer. This is the Porefessional Concealer. This one is coming soon, I think. I think the pictures have already leaked and probably, I don't know where, but they're starting to roll out the launch campaign on their Instagram, I've seen, but this is what it looks like. It seems to have quite a few different shades. The formula of the foundation wasn't perfect for me. It wasn't the perfect one for me. I know some people really loved it. For me, it was more like, but also I do have, again, combo oily skin. So it didn't work out perfectly for my skin type. I might be intrigued in trying this concealer, but I also don't need a new concealer right now. But I wanted to let you know in case you loved the foundation and wanted to try the concealer. Okay, let's talk about a couple of more fragrance news before I go and take a cold shower. One of them is actually from Rare Beauty, and this is the Rare Beginnings. And this is going to be a pear fragrance. I'm actually wearing the original Rare Beauty fragrance today. I love those balms. Those balms are not great on their own, but together with fragrances, they just really, they do exactly what they say they're going to do. They're perfect for layering, and I'm wearing the citrus today, get together with the original fragrance. They're so beautiful. This one is going to be pear nectar, pistachio, gardenia, jasmine, lotus blossom, vanilla bean, pink sugar, and cedar wood. That sounds lovely. I might try it, especially in a small, because I don't think I'm on the Rare Beauty PR list anymore. I did get their eyebrow gels. I'm actually wearing that one today, the eyebrow gels here in Italy, but then I didn't get the last 2 releases here, so I don't think I'm on the PR list anymore, which, I mean, it's perfectly fine. So I think I'm gonna pick this one up myself because I do really want to try it, but I'm especially interested in the layering balms because I do really enjoy those. There's gonna be a sweet marshmallow, which is orchid, marshmallow, and musk. I don't think maybe that's for me because I never want to make a fragrance more sweet. But the other one is a fruity pear layering balm, and it is sparkling pear, lotus blossom, and white wood. And I do often want to make fragrances more fruity. So my most used ones of the balms is the wood one, because I do want to bring an earthy wood note. The fresh one, I love being able to bring a little citrus. That's what I'm wearing today, and I would love a fruity one. So I'm actually definitely picking up the fruity one, and I'm gonna pick up the fragrance, and I'm very excited to try those because I think the first Rare Beauty fragrance actually was really good. For being a borderline gourmand, I think they did a great job. Another fragrance that I am so intrigued by, and it is Phlur's Vanilla Canyon. I don't always love a vanilla fragrance, but I think this will be a great fall fragrance, and this is going to be Velvet Plum. I love a fruity fragrance. Tonka bean, jasmine petals, wild honey. I actually really like the honey perfume that they had last time. Again, I'm not always for sweet perfumes, but I did actually really like how that honey fragrance smelled. Madagascar vanilla, patchouli, and oak wood. I think this will be a deeper fall scent that I will really enjoy. I really want to try this one out. This one is launching on the 11th of August on the Sephora website, and Phlur is now available at European Sephoras as well, so I will definitely be picking that one up here at Sephora Italy. Prada is actually also releasing a new fragrance. This is the Prada Paradoxe Sweet Chemistry, and they actually did announce that Zendaya is going to be the face of this fragrance, which I think is a very, it sounds great to me. This is launching on the Sephora app on the 28th or 27th. And then it's coming into store on the 1st of September. So this is going to be a twist on the Paradoxe with black currant syrup. Again, I love blackcurrant. I need to smell this one though, because the original Paradoxe is way too floral for me. So I need to smell this and see if it's still heavy florals or if it's leaning more into the blackcurrant, because blackcurrant is one of my favorite fruity notes to have in a fragrance. I think it smells so amazing. I love it. So I'm intrigued by this one, but I also have a sneaking suspicion that it's still going to be floral first. When did I scratch myself? When did that happen? Tom Ford is releasing Tobacco Chocolate, and this is a indulgent fragrance in which the warmth of tobacco meets the decadence of dark chocolate. So I love Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. I don't always love chocolate notes in fragrances, but this is one of those that if I see it in store, I will definitely smell it, simply because I love tobacco. The tobacco note from Tom Ford is amazing, but the chocolate one is giving me a little, I don't know about that. But if you were looking for a little bit more of a gourmand leaning fragrance from Tom Ford, that one might be a good one for you. There's also a new fragrance coming from, here it is, from Nest. Is Nest available in Europe? I want to say asking for a friend, but I'm not. I'm asking for me. I'm asking for me because they're coming out with a cardamom latte. I think this might be the coffee scent that I'm looking for, because I love cardamom notes in fragrances. I really want to try this. Again, it has coconut milk. I don't know what it is about people wanting to bring coconut into coffee scents. The new coffee scent by Sol de Janeiro also has coconut in it, but this one also has cardamom. Is Nest available here? How I just missed it? Please let me know. Where are you finding Nest in Europe? Let me see if anything has happened while we've been talking, because that sometimes does happen, that things literally get announced as we're sitting down to talk. Nothing that I am seeing right now. I think we're good. I think that's it. Okay, I think we are ready. I am so warm. I need a shower. What are you? Don't look at that. Let me know what you are the most interested in. For me, I think the fragrance releases definitely have my heart. With that being said, had I not gotten these indie palettes in PR, I would have definitely been all over them, wanting to order them. But the fragrance releases are having me in a chokehold this week. I need to smell all of them. They sound absolutely delicious. Let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget that the member videos and the Zoom and the video is coming this weekend. I also have some videos prepared for next week, and the week after that, again, I'm on vacation. There's going to be maybe, I don't know, if anything, maybe one video. Listen, I'm trying to take a breather. I'm going on a book, a group trip for book lovers, a little retreat, and I am so excited. I'm ready. I hope you're having a great summer season, and I will see you, I think, Tuesday or Monday or Wednesday. One of those days for a new video. Bye.